All right, so we've got everything mounted and installed. I took off the skinny ones because since my last little recording, the other target showed up from Pinball Life. Thank you, Pinball Life. So now I've got the fat stand-ups there in between, and that's pretty much how it's gonna be looking. Okay, so what is that? 7 targets, 4 drops, and 3 stand-ups. Boom, and you can go between them, lose the ball. That's gonna work good. Now we just gotta make sure it's gonna fit on the playfield. It's even still a little bit bigger than what I was thinking, but I think we're good. So it does fit in good with the staircase, but once again, okay, do you guys remember in one of the earlier videos I mentioned that I had cut my playfield too short, right? Trying to compensate for everything and didn't have enough room or whatever, and so I overestimated because first I had it too long, and so I noticed I couldn't really lift it up with everything in the back, and then I cut it too short, and now I've adjusted back out to 45 inches. Well, guess what? It's too long. There's no room really for the ball to go behind this. It's like right there. Let me bring the camera in so you can see. Not sure how well you can see that, but yeah, there's really like, there's touching the wall. There's no room for the ball to go behind me, barely, but not how it needs to be. Not to be able to then lift the playfield up out of the machine. This is going to be way too far back. So math is hard for me apparently. No, I've never really, I think, sat down and thought this all the way through as carefully as I need to. Hopefully it'll be a little bit easier now that I actually have like a prototype of the upper playfield, and so I know how big that is going to be, and I can now measure from where the back of that is with the mechs and the space I need for the balls all the way forward. And obviously I'm way over 45 inches now. I'm probably like at 48 or something. So I need to get back 3 inches somewhere. That's fun. All right, so there's gonna need to be a little bit of tweaking to where I can make this fit. This upper playfield probably won't be able to be quite this big. I'm probably gonna need to shrink this down by 1 inch or so. I can probably lose, I'll have to measure, I can probably lose about 1 inch or 2 from there. Maybe 1 inch, let's see. We are at 8 inches right now, and that's probably more than what we really need for an upper playfield. I mean, I like the size of this upper playfield, but we cut it down even by just like 1 inch. I could lose 1 inch here. I know I've got about 1 inch on my lower third here between the flippers and where the apron is that I can lose. So that's 2 inches. And again, yeah, my overall playfield was how long again? I believe I was right at 44. 45. I'm right at 45. I'm right at 45 right now. So I cut that down to 44. All right, well, that's a little frustrating. Yeah, okay. I'll figure out how to get some space back and we'll keep recording. All right, so I think I have it figured out. I think so. I had to go through and make sure I accounted for the depth of the mechs, right? And they're gonna be overhanging on the back side of this upper playfield. So that portion is tall enough that it actually has to be able to hang down behind the back edge of the playfield. And so either this has to go a standard playfield, again, 20 1/4 inches wide, 45 inches long for stern. So I had mine at 45 inches long. Well, the space of these mechs, I need really about 3 inches, just shy of 3 inches. So we're calling it 3 inches to be safe. So I need 3 inches beyond that. That would put me at 48 inches. It's a really long playfield. Long enough that when you try to lift it and tip it to get the playfield out, I'm probably gonna be rubbing the back and hitting things. Not only do I need the 3 inches though for these mechs, but then remember I also need like another 2 inches beyond that for when the balls go through the drop target. I need room for the ball to go behind and get caught and be brought down out on the other side of the playfield here to come back out forward. So I need those extra 3 inches beyond the playfield, and then I need really another 2. So we're talking like 5 inches. That would put us at like 50 inches. Impossible. So I've got to shorten my playfield. So I've been trying to go through and figure out, okay, where can I shorten my playfield? I've measured, I'm pretty sure I have a tight inch. I have just an inch, no more, that I can lose off the very front of my playfield. And I'll have just enough space between the ball guides and the flippers and everything that between that and the apron that everything will work. So I can lose 1 inch there, but I still have another 4 inches I need to come up with, which is a lot. But I think I've done it. Let me show you what I've done. Basically, all right, so this shows the back of my playfield. Basically, I'm cutting an inch off the back of the playfield, and right now I just kind of cut out kind of this gap here, okay? And I'm not sure if the final playfield will just be shorter an inch all the way across, or if I'll have it get cut out here just in the center. I've still got to figure out exactly how I'm going to be attaching the upper playfield to the bottom playfield, so I might need some wood on the sides for like supports and things to come up. So for now I'm doing like that. So that gave me another inch, okay? So that's 2 inches out of the total of 5 inches we were at, right? So I've got another 3 I need to save. I was able to get another inch here by going through and moving these ball guides in. The ball guide was going right up to the very edge of the playfield. I've now pushed that in an inch, and as such I pushed this ball guide in an inch, had to reshape it a little bit to make sure that I still have room for my flipper to come up out of the playfield. Okay, so an inch here, move this forward an inch, move this forward an inch, and this I went through, if you can see, and I cut that 3D printed brace for the stairs, made it thinner. It doesn't need to be quite so thick. It's not so much of a triangle. Took this metal ball guide and ended up bending it drastically way more than it was. It was doing a much more gentle thing. The outside needs to be nice and smooth. The inside, the ball doesn't really roll along. So I pushed that in a little bit faster, a little tighter. The stairs are just clearing that. Okay. And so that's giving me another inch there. Is that the full 5 inches? No. But in all reality, the 2 inches behind this to catch the ball, if this is all short enough, I'll have space. So it's really those 3 inches that I need to worry about. Well, I said an inch here. I actually ended up taking off just about 1.5 inches. And out of the front down here, I figured I think I can get about 1.25 inches. So I'm about 1/4 inch shy. I think I'm really close. I'm really close. As I'm also looking at the stair mech now with this new motor, I've got a 1/2 inch gap between that and this drop target, this back here. So I think I can even slide that up a 1/2 inch. That'll let everything from the back come up a 1/2 inch, but not change where my ramps start, where my Newton ball is, and where this drop target is in front of the stairs. I won't have to actually move the whole playfield forward, which is good because I really want to keep this pop bumper. And I just don't want everything too crowded. I don't want it to feel like it's a really short playfield compared to most. Like even just an inch or two, I think you'd be able to kind of tell when you're playing the game. But anyways, that's where I'm at. I'm trying to now just go through and figure out how to support this upper playfield and get some things in. So I've got some different, different metal posts and things that I'm going to try to screw up to get to the right height. We know this is the exactly right height. I think it's 3 inches, maybe 3.5. 3 inches. Okay, these are 3 inches tall. So I need 3 inches of support underneath this playfield to get it up. So over here, just off camera, I've got my collection of posts, and I've got a lot of different sizes. Some that are easily 3 inches, but I've got to get a combination. I got to get a combination of like these posts that like kind of extend, plus one that's going to come up through the playfield. So I can take one of these guys. He's threaded on the other end. One of these guys, I believe this is a number 8. Yep. See, and these will go together. And then together, is that 3 inches? Together is going to be right about 3 inches. I think that's perfect. That is pretty dang close. We're just shy of 3 inches. Now this is not very long coming up. I almost want one that is, I almost want to maybe like reverse this so I can have a screw coming down through the upper playfield into this to secure it. So they also make some of these that are hollow. So instead of having threaded tops, instead of being a male, it's a female. So let me see if I have one of those. So here's one very similar, but it's female. Okay, there we go. And now we got 3 inches. That'll easily go through the playfield, can get secured down by a nylon nut or even just a T-nut in the playfield. And then this is female, and so we can get a number 8 screw, probably like a machine screw type thing, as far as like the head, a cone head. So it'll be flush with the top of the playfield, and we'll drill down through the playfield and secure it into this. All right, couldn't find any of the locking washers, but or nuts, but I just got regular nuts and some washers, and it'll be good enough right now. Now, I've already got a center line on this upper playfield drawn, so I can kind of eyeball that to the center of the stairs. So I know about where I need to be, left to right. And for right now, eyeballing it as good as I can will be good enough. Again, like you've heard me say before, once we get this in kind of prototyped and working, then we'll need to go through and kind of measure out the holes and make sure things really are centered and transfer that diffusion 360. So when we prep for the next cut of our white wood, we'll know where to have those holes drilled for us, all right? I also had already gone through and rough drilled some 1/2-inch holes for the flipper bats for where those mechs are going to be underneath. So that's kind of guiding me also. I'm not sure if I showed that in one of my other videos, but so I've got those holes. That's why these bats are able to go down. Kind of using those as my guide because I'd measured those out quite a bit before. So those bats are pretty well centered in those holes, and the center line is in the center of the staircase. Then we're pretty much where I need to be. And then it's a matter of seeing where underneath this on the playfield can I drill into to get a connection that's not going to be in the way where the ball is going to go. Like right here on this side, I've got my outer orbit ball lane right here that goes right behind where this flipper bat is. So the flipper bat is just inside that, so it's not in a spot that's in the way, but I can't put a post right in the very corner behind that flipper bat because it'll go right down into that lane. So I've got to go behind that, and I can do that right around this area. For this one, I actually can do one up here in the corner, and that's going to be better. So I'm in front of the orbit ball lane. There we go. Nice and snug. Not bad. I balled it pretty good. All right. We got just enough clearance here. That looks pretty good. Drop down through holes there. Got lucky on that one. All right. Now we got to go through and put on our flipper mechs. This is what they look like. This is what they look like when you get them from Pinball Life. They're all nice and shrink wrapped up. If you're brand new to it, you might wonder, like, does it matter which one I use? They say right and left. Are they really universal or not? They're not universal. The way you mount them, the plunger's on either one side or the other, and that's going to determine which way it twists the post. And you want it to be going clockwise, you want it to be going counterclockwise. It's really easy to remember. Easy way to remember which flipper is which. When you look at the flipper mech from the top, there's this white plastic bushing, okay, that the flipper post goes through, okay? And on the overall mech, you can see this one, the white flipper bushing for that bat is on the left, and for this mech, it's on the right side of the piece of metal. It's as simple as that. This is a right flipper, this is a left flipper. When you put them back up under the playfield, this one's going to twist this way, and this one's going to twist that way. Anyway, look for the white flipper bushings. And that'll help. Sometimes you'll unwrap and you'll be like, crap, which one was right, which one was left? Just look from the top, and this white bushing is on the left for a left flipper, and vice versa for the right flipper. Okay, easy peasy. So my supporting post is in the way. This one needs to go through this hole right here. This post I just put in is so close that it's in the way of where I need to put my flipper mech. So there is a little bit of room here for something to stick up through. So this post is going to need to get cut down to be the right length, or I've got to find a different place to put it. One of those two. All right, left flipper mech has room. Yep. The lines for the optical switches are still good. All right, got that cut down from our grinder, the cutting blade, and the nut. Yep. Goes right on. All right. Just fits. Now to guide the flipper bats through. Oh, come on, is that not enough flipper bat? I measured. Why are my measurements always off? When I measured the depth or the length of those flipper bats, I said 3 inches, but I mismeasured because that's not going to be enough. I do not have enough to grab onto. So I'm a 1/2 inch short on that flipper bat coming through to be able to get grabbed here up by the mech. So we can fix that though. The those spacers, metal spacers, I got a 3-inch one. I need to find a 2.5 inch one, and then we'll be fine. All right. Took me a second to find the right spacers. I forgot I had all these other hex spacers. So there are these metal hex spacers that look like this. All right, they're kind of a hexagon shape. Anyway, and they work out great. So instead of the base, instead of a post that was hollow in the top and had the other thing going into it, I have these posts that are threaded at the top, and the hex spacers are female on both ends that receive it. So, and this I got in the right size, because the other ones I only had in that it's like 2 1/4 or whatever size. So I needed to get these, but these I have in exactly a 1-inch space. I've got a handful of these, but I had exactly 3. So I'm gonna need to go through and order a few more, because at the end I want to have 4. So hopefully Pinball Life has those in stock, but that's what we end up with versus this guy. So we are right about a 1/2 inch shorter, so that should be perfect for us. So we got 3 of those. Now we're gonna reinstall. Now, this did lower this playfield by 1/2 inch compared to the top of the steps. So that, I'm not sure if that's gonna be an issue or not yet. I think it's gonna be okay. Either way, I have to create a piece to go over the lip of this upper playfield anyway. So when the ball comes over, it kind of helps scrape it off. And so, I mean, I'll change the shape a little bit. I already had one designed that I practiced with a little bit, was working okay. If anything, this will make it maybe better, because it'll just give me like a little more height, a little more gravity on my side. So when the ball really gets scraped off, that it maybe rolls and moves better instead of just kind of like staying right by the stairs. So boom, we've got a ball on here. We roll the stairs up, and right now we get there. Then of course, I've got gravity really helping me. Let's lower this down. So now, this is the angle I'll actually be at. I'm almost going a little too fast. I come up here. Yeah, see, it just kind of, can you even see that? So when I go through and do this, see, the ball is just kind of staying there, whether I go fast or slow. So that's not good enough, right? If I absolutely just like throw it at it, maybe, but I figure in the game, I mean, you saw the speed was going before, right? Dun, 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 dun. It's going to probably go about that speed is all. So that's where I'm thinking if I have a 3D printed like piece of plastic here that goes over this lip and kind of like creates like an angle and forces the ball to go to one side or the other, I think that's going to work. But that's not even what we were doing yet, right? We're getting the flipper bats in place. I actually have quite a bit sticking out, so I can actually put in a little bit taller spacer if I want. So we have more down here than we really need, and I've got an inch, I've got an inch and an eighth, I've got an inch and a quarter, I've got an inch and a half. I've got different spacers, so we can play around till we get one that gives us the maximum of the flipper bat here. But I'm actually, the more I'm thinking about it, I think I like that the Playfield is a good half inch lower than the top of the stairs. It'll make it easier to scrape the ball off and hopefully get it to move around somewhere. So I'm going to stick with this one for right now, and we'll get all set up with 3D print. We'll experiment, and if that's not really getting the ball off well enough, it needs to be higher, we can easily swap out those spacers, reattach it, and try again. So we're going to start with this. All right, we got flippers. We got the upper playfield. Whew. That'll reconnect some things. First, to 3D print out this piece here. All right, here is the little piece that we made. The idea is that it's going to slide. It's going to slide onto the board here, and then kind of have this angled thing for the ball to get scraped off and go to one side or the other. So we'll see how that works out. A little loose. Should have made that probably just a little bit snugger, but we'll throw in a little piece of cardboard or something, a little construction paper, and we'll be good. There we go, good enough. It's coming out too far. Dang it. Haven't been doing good at my measurements recently. Measured twice, cut once. Should have measured twice, printed once. This is coming out too far from the front edge of the wood. I need to have this whole thing kind of start back further, more on the wood, more on top of this. So, take two. All right. First try. Too much sticking off the back. Second try. A little too thick, too close. Third try. Let's see. I don't know. It's gonna just barely work. Whew. Okay, just barely clears. I think that's working. It's close, but it's just barely clearing. Probably like a millimeter tighter than it should be, but good enough for testing. We get the top of the stair, we go one more. Seems like that worked. All right, I think we've got everything hooked up. It's about time to start working on a wire harness, isn't it? Ew. This is not fun. Okay, yeah. Once we finish getting this prototyped and working well enough, yeah, we got to come back through and get a much better wiring harness going on here. This is getting embarrassing. I do not have the drop targets connected yet, but I got the flippers connected and the stair and the stepper. We're still going to be running the stepper manually, but again, this is just trying to see if we can get the balls are going to come off good enough. I think we might need to iterate on that piece of plastic on the lip of that playfield a bit more. So we're just going to run some tests through that and see how the balls are coming off. Iterate. Yeah, all right. Just power up. Oh, and in case you're wondering, because if we end up knocking some balls through here, go back behind, I've got a piece of cardboard now inside my cabinet protecting my power filter board and everything else. So the balls come down, they're not going to be hitting and shortening anything. So, ready, set, Go. What if it's every other? It's like if we make this a little bit wider, we can make sure the ball doesn't drain down here. It always goes to a flipper. But I kind of like that it can go down there too. We just need to get it further out. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up there. The video's gone on long enough. If you can't tell also by the sound of my voice, it was getting very late at night. My energy was kind of going down. I've been going through and editing that video and just like, wow, my energy level, my excitement just goes like going down, down, down. Should have been like, wow, I'm really excited. The staircase is working, we're getting up there. Yeah, we need to iterate on the piece of plastic. The balls aren't going quite where I want them to, but like, good progress, Steve. I was so tired, I was done, and a little teaser, spoiler alert, as you'll see in my next video, mistakes happen when you're very tired and you keep trying to push through and thinking, oh, I'm just gonna do a little bit more. Don't do that. We all know this, right? I know this, I've learned this lesson before. I feel like I'm learning this lesson 20 times over again. If you're really tired, you think, I'm just gonna do a few more things, so I'm a little bit further ahead for next time, maybe you should go take a nap first, because you can really mess some things up if you're not careful. All right, I'm gonna leave it on that note, but if you watched this far along, wow, thanks so much, guys. This is kind of like a marathon video. I kept going back and forth on how much I wanted to cut out versus I kept feeling like there's some helpful tidbits in there maybe, so I kind of left it all in. Anyway, hopefully you just get past the parts that maybe got too boring, but at the end of the day, we've got our playfield, upper playfield up here. We need to keep iterating on this piece of plastic and how the balls come out and whether or not we're gonna have a gap in here by the stairs, but I mean, we're making solid progress. I'm feeling pretty good. Only got like 10 weeks till June 3rd, so I'm getting very, very nervous of having it all done in time to play, but anyway, we're gonna keep moving on. All right, thanks so much for watching, guys, and loving all the comments. Been some great suggestions, great ideas you guys have brought up on the last video that I'm seriously considering a lot of them. There's some people have talked about different types of drop target mechs that do have different coils set up to where I can maybe still do my whack-a-mole and have it be way narrower and not have to have all the stand-ups. That's something I'm considering. For now, I'm gonna stick with this setup because I actually kind of like having the extra targets with the stand-ups, but anyway, and then talking about the spacing and different ways I could angle this. Anyway, lots of good comments, so thank you so much, guys. Love the engagement, loving the feedback. I can't wait to get this to a point where I can bring it and let all you guys play it and get your feedback on it in real, real in person. So anyways, if you haven't started your own pinball machine yet, your own homebrew, get on it. So much fun. It can be long, as you know, and frustrating, but man, I'm loving this. So thanks for coming along for the ride, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.